Hello, welcome to this live lesson. Thank you so much for joining. I cannot wait to tell you all of the fantastic things I'm going to start telling you about. Now, my name is Anu and I teach English on italki.com. Thank you so much for joining. I've got some great things to tell you about italki and some fantastic language learning tips as well. Now, if you've got any questions, please do ask me in the chat box. I would love to know what you would like help with. I'm going to answer all of your questions in about 30 minutes, okay? So, I guess most of you would already be aware about italki, right? I'll just give you a brief introduction just in case. So italki is a global language learning community that connects students and teachers like myself for one-on-one online language lessons. Did you know that there are over 10,000 teachers on the platform? And I'm one of them. So I'm one of the English teachers here, and maybe I'll be seeing some of you soon in my lessons as well. Now, one interesting fact that you may not know is that according to some research conducted by Queen's College and University of South Carolina, italki is, the #1 online platform to learn a language. Okay, it takes just 19 hours on italki compared to a university term to move from one level to the next level in a language. So imagine if you are A1 or a beginner, you could be A2 in just 19 hours compared to the 45 hours it takes on average at university. So think about all the time that you save as well as the money. And of course, the convenience of learning from absolutely anywhere you want, okay? You could learn in your own home, at your local cafe, you could learn from your workplace, anywhere is okay. All you need is, your laptop or your phone or the tablet and the internet, okay? So why don't you try taking an online lesson with a language teacher? I've got a special coupon that you can use to get $10 extra to spend on any teacher, any language, any type of lesson. Okay, the coupon is my name. It's ANU, 3 letters, easy to remember. Okay, now remember that this coupon will only work for your first lesson. So if you've already taken a lesson on italki, or if you've already got credits in your wallet on italki, this coupon will not work, unfortunately. But if you have never taken a lesson on italki before, go on, book your first lesson and get that $10 extra to spend on your next one. All right? So don't forget about this, all right? Now, if you've got questions about italki, learning a language, about using that coupon, anything at all, please let me know in the chat box, okay? Just type your questions into the chat box and I will answer all of them in about 20 minutes, okay? All right. Now we're going to talk about how to get the most out of an online language lesson. We'll create a goal for language learning, find the right teacher to lead you to that goal, prepare for your first lesson, create a language learning plan, and then finally, I'm going to give you some great tips to move from one level to the next level in the fastest way possible. All right. So let's talk about creating a goal for language learning then. Well, before every lesson, think about exactly what you want to achieve. So if you're learning English, maybe you want to be able to go to a doctor's appointment and describe different health problems. Or maybe you want to master the second conditional. Or perhaps you'd like to perfect your pronunciation and pronounce fuzz and fuss differently. It's tricky, right? Now, if you set a goal before you start, then you will feel so much more successful at the end of the lesson when you achieve that goal or you come closer to achieving that goal. But hang on, okay? Make sure you set really specific goals, okay? Your goal shouldn't be, I'll speak fluently at the end of the hour. That doesn't work. Make it something more specific. Make it about just one topic. For example, I'll speak fluently about health problems at the end of this lesson. Do you notice the difference? All right, so now that you've got a clearer idea about creating a goal for language learning, here's how to find the perfect teacher for you on italki. So I'll let you in on a little secret which most of my students just don't know about. It's always better to use the filters on italki to find the right teacher. There, I've said it. It's not a big secret, I know, but many people just don't understand how to use the filters to find the teachers that they are looking for. So let me show you how it's done. Let me share my screen so that you can see what I can see. And I'm going to show you a little bit of italki magic at the very end as well. So let me just set this up. Okay. All right, so hopefully you can now see my screen. I am on the Find a Teacher page, which is on the top of on the top of the page, on every page. And this is just a long list of all the teachers available to teach you, any language you want. Now, with 10,000 teachers on italki, it's going to be hard for you to find the perfect teacher here, okay? So use these filters to find your perfect teacher, okay? Now, the first most important filter is the language that you want to learn. Now, I'm going to choose English as an example, but you can choose whatever you want from this list. Next, think about what accent or dialect you want to focus on. So, a lot of my students come to me because of my British accent. Maybe you like watching Sherlock or Harry Potter. That's what you would need to do. Choose United Kingdom. Next, think about the hourly rate that you can afford to pay for your lessons. Now, don't worry, we've got teachers for every single budget, okay? We've got teachers who teach for as little as $4 and as much as $80, okay? So it's completely affordable. Next, you can use the Teacher Speaks filter. So this filter is if you are interested in having a teacher who also speaks your language, okay? Now, I'm going to choose Portuguese as an example. So if you're from Brazil, if you're from Portugal, this is what you need to do. Okay, so let's talk about skills filter then. So the skills filter is if you've got any specific skills you would like your teacher to have. For example, if you're interested in passing an English exam, select the test preparation filter. Okay. Now, a lot of my students come to me because of my IELTS knowledge. So click on IELTS as well if you want. And there you go. Now you've just got 17 teachers to choose from. Isn't that a lot better than choosing from 10,000 random teachers? Now, all of these 17 teachers are probably perfect. They all teach English. They're all from the UK. They speak Portuguese, and they can help you prepare for the IELTS. Fantastic, right? Next, click on these names to find a lot of information about the teacher on their profile. So I'm just going to click on a random profile that you can use to find out more. Now, the first thing you'll notice on any profile is the introduction video. So the introduction video is where the teacher talks about where they're from, what language they're learning, what type of lesson they can offer, and their qualifications, their experience. All of that is important, but what's more important is to be able to understand your teacher. Okay, so find out more about their accent, how clearly they speak, whether they speak too fast or too slowly. That's more important. All right. Next, have a look at their written description for more details. I always check what hobbies they have. I know it sounds strange, but actually, if they have similar hobbies to you, then your lessons are going to become so much more interesting. Okay, you'll have great conversations with them if you have something in common. Next, have a look at the types of lessons that this teacher can provide. Every teacher on italki provides different types of lessons. So, for example, this teacher provides IELTS and TOEFL preparation courses. But if you're looking for the Cambridge exams, FCE, CAE, PET exam, well, then you need to find a different teacher. All right. Next, look at the reviews. Now, I love looking at the reviews. You can find out some really honest opinions of students who've taken lessons with this teacher before. It's a great way to find out what to expect in these lessons, okay? So, you can really find out, what kind of things happened in the lesson and what they thought about it. You're looking for good stuff like, I benefit from your class, great and helpful class, easygoing person, great lesson, productive lesson. That's exactly what you want, okay? Next, if you like what you read here, then book a trial lesson. A trial lesson is a 30-minute lesson that is designed to give you a little taste of what you are going to get in the full lesson. Okay, you've got 3 trial lessons available on italki, so use them wisely. Now, the cool thing about trials is that they're generally really, really cheap. So I've seen trials for as little as $1. I mean, can you believe that? A whole trial lesson for just $1, right? You have no excuse not to book a trial lesson then, right? To book any lesson, you will need to go to put some money into your italki wallet. So go to italki.com/recharge, which is this page. And then decide how much you want to invest in your language learning. Now, you can put hundreds of dollars if you want. I'm going to start with something small, like $50, okay? Next, have a look at this red box. Now, that is where the magic happens, guys. This red box is where you can put in my coupon code, ANU, 3 letters, ANU. Click on redeem. Look at that, coupon successfully added, which is good news because that means you now have 10 extra dollars to spend on any teacher, any language, any type of lesson, okay? Isn't that fantastic? I mean, 10 extra dollars could be 1 or 2 or even 3 trial lessons, right? So go on, book your first lesson and get that 10 extra dollars, all right? Now, if you've missed out on the coupon, here you go. Here it is. It's ANU, 3 letters, easy to remember. Okay, you'll get 10 extra dollars on your first purchase on the platform. If you've got any questions about this coupon, if you've got any, let's say, doubts about italki, anything you want to know, or even if you want to ask me about English, grammar, vocabulary questions, anything at all, just type your question into the chat box. I am going to answer all of your questions live in about 10 minutes, okay? So very, very soon. All right. So go on. Ask me anything you want about this coupon, about learning a language, about learning English, anything you want. All right. So let's start preparing for your first lesson then. Well, make sure you've got everything you need to succeed in the online lesson. So that includes your laptop. You can also use your tablet or your phone for the lesson. You also need to have your passwords ready for, italki, for Zoom, for Skype. I recommend having a small notebook as well, where you can write down some quick notes about any new grammar or new vocabulary that you learn. Now, I recommend having 2 pens for that. This is my tip. Use a normal pen for most things, black or blue, doesn't matter. And then use a brighter, bolder color like red or pink, any other color like that. And, use that to highlight important words, important structures. This is going to make your notes so much more organized. That's what you want, okay? Now, a cool little bonus is that your notes look so pretty. And because of that, you actually feel more motivated to learn more. And also it's easier to learn from more organized notes as well, okay? The second thing is ask the teacher if you need to do any homework before the lesson. I know it sounds strange. Homework before the lesson? Well, actually, it's very common. For example, if you were taking a lesson with me, I would ask you to watch a video or read a newspaper article before coming to class. And then during our lesson, we would discuss what you did, talk about what you found difficult, talk about the grammar, the vocabulary in it. We would focus the whole lesson on that. But I don't have to choose what, you do in the lessons, okay? Remember, your lesson is one-to-one, so you can decide exactly what you want to work on. So tell the teacher, is it listening, speaking, reading, writing? Whatever you want, okay? You will get a personalized lesson that focuses on just your problems. And if you're not sure what you need to work on, just ask your teacher directly what they think, okay? This is something that really isn't possible in a local language school or a local language academy because, you're not going to be able to get much individual attention. You're probably going to be in a group lesson with 10 or 20 or 30 students. Okay, so, make sure that you can, think about, make sure that you have a teacher on italki because your whole lesson is one-to-one, okay? It's all about you and your questions, your goals, your mistakes, your problems. Everything is about you. Okay, so it's a faster way to improve. All right. The next thing you can do to prepare for your lesson is you can ask the teacher if it's okay to record the whole lesson. Isn't that so cool? You can do the lesson once, but you can, click a button on italki or on Zoom, and then you will just get a video that you can watch as many times as you want. Okay, isn't that cool? Right? You can use that video to, go through all the content, all the vocabulary, all the grammar. You can check all of your mistakes. You can check your pronunciation. You can check your teacher's pronunciation. There are so many things that you can do on italki with that video. So I really recommend recording your lesson. It's so useful. All right. Next, let's create your language learning plan. Well, first of all, be really realistic about how much time you have, okay? Check your schedule, right? It's just, we're so busy nowadays. Decide how much time can you really spend on learning a language. Remember, if you've got 2 hours a day, then you should only take a 30-minute lesson and spend the rest of the time reviewing what you did in class. Now, I've got a student who has, done this so efficiently that I need to tell you about them. Okay. So this student has a very busy lifestyle with work, with family. He's got very young children. Okay. So he doesn't have a lot of time to do any practice, but he does his lessons during his daily commute from home to work. Isn't that genius? It takes him 1 hour on the train to get to work in the morning, and he calls me to practice his speaking. And then on the way back from work, when he's coming home, he, goes through everything that we did in the morning, like all the grammar, all the vocabulary that we did. So this is a great example of someone who doesn't have a lot of time, but they're using whatever time they have to practice. Okay. Next, if you've decided how much time you have and what you'll do with it, put it on paper. Okay. Write your goals down. Put it on paper. Okay. You can really, improve the chances of having a more successful plan if you write it down. Okay. So I actually leave my plan on my desk. Okay. And the reason I do that is because I spend a lot of time here teaching students like you on italki. So because I'm here, my eyes can see that plan a lot of times during the day, which is really good because, I can remember that I've got this lesson, remember that I've got this plan all the time. Put it on your fridge, put it on your desk, on your table, in the bedroom, in the bathroom. I don't care where you put it, okay? Just put it somewhere that you can see a few times during the day, okay? Okay, so let's see. One more thing. It's really important to be consistent. There is no point in doing one lesson today, nothing for 10 weeks, and then doing your next lesson. What's the point, okay? You're not going to remember anything. You won't improve like that. You need to take regular lessons to really make sure that your lessons have an impact. Okay, so try to do one lesson a week. I think that's a good minimum that you should do. I've got a student who does 5 lessons a week. That's up to you and your schedule. How much can you study? Okay. Now, I've got a quick tip here as well. Book your lessons in advance. Okay, I do this because I am lazy. I forget to book lessons with my Japanese teacher. So I book my lessons well in advance. Okay, I book my lessons on the first day of every month, and I book them for the whole month. So I do 1 lesson a week. And so in a month, I do about 4 or 5 lessons. So on the first day of every month, I'll book all of my lessons for this month, which is really cool because then I don't have to think about it. It's done. It's ready. I just need to go online and take that lesson. So it makes my life a lot easier. I complete my language learning plan every month if I just book all my lessons on the first day. So try that. I think it will be really useful for you when you're starting out. All right, so I want to tell you how to move from one level to the next level in the fastest way possible. But before I do that, okay, let me remind you, if you've got questions about italki, about learning a language, about learning English, about using that coupon, please, please, please type your question into the chat box and I will help you with any question you have, okay? Live in 2 minutes, okay? I'm gonna answer all of your questions in 2 minutes. So get ready, get your questions ready and write them down in the chat box, okay? All right, so let's move from one level to another. Step 1 is to identify your weakest skill. Find out what skill is the hardest for you. What skill are you least confident in? What skill do you want more practice in? Okay, so identify that skill. It's that skill actually that is holding you back from moving to the next level. Okay. Step 2 is to find some time in your daily routine to do some extra practice. Okay, so in that, try to find some time when you're not really doing anything, like your mind is free, but you're doing something. For example, you're doing the laundry for 5 minutes. If you're walking somewhere for 5 minutes, if you're waiting at the bus stop for 5 minutes, when you're on the bus for 5 minutes, all of those kind of times when you've got time, but you're not really doing anything, you'd probably be on Instagram, let's be honest, okay? Now, step 3 is to do a short daily activity in those 5 minutes, okay? Now, let me give you my example. So I study Japanese on italki, like I said, and my weakest skill at the moment is writing. So step 2 is to find some time. Well, every morning when every morning before my lesson, I make some tea. And during that time, I've got 5 minutes to wait for it to brew and also for it to cool down. Okay, so during those 5 minutes, I write in my daily journal. Okay, so I write about what happened during the day, the previous day, what I did, who I met, who I talked to, what I ate, where I went, simple things like that. Okay. Now, sometimes my life is not interesting, so I talk about, random questions, like what is my favorite type of music? What film have I already watched this week? What would I like to do on my next holiday? Simple questions, okay? The goal is to write every single day, every single week for about 4 or 5 weeks. And then you'll notice a very big difference. You'll notice that it is not scary anymore to use that skill. Actually, you've done it every day, so you're used to it. Okay, so that's what you want. You want to, make it feel like it's a habit, like brushing your teeth. Okay, that's when it will become easier for you to move to the next level. Okay. All right, so I hope that you've got a really clear idea about how to get the most out of your online language lesson, okay? So I would like to thank you for your time and your patience. You guys have been so lovely. Now, if anyone is joining in late, then I want to share my special coupon for learning any language on italki with absolutely any teacher. It's from me to you guys, okay? So this coupon is just my name. It's ANU, 3 letters, easy to remember, ANU, ANU. This coupon is in the chat box. So if you want to just copy it from the chat box, that's also okay. Okay, you can get $10 extra on your first purchase on italki with this coupon, ANU. Now remember, it will only work for your first purchase on italki. So if you've already booked a lesson on italki before, or if you've already got credits in your wallet on italki, this coupon will unfortunately not work. Okay, so save this coupon because when I go offline in 10 minutes, this coupon will disappear. Okay, save it now and use it today to book your first lesson. Guys, you've got 3 weeks, less than 3 weeks actually, 20 days to, the new year. in 20 days, you could take at least a few lessons, and trust me, it's going to make a big difference to your level, to your confidence in that language. And you can start the new year with a different, much better level. Okay, don't wait till New Year's to make a New Year's resolution about learning this language. Start now. All right. So if you've got questions about this coupon, if you've got questions about italki, about learning a language, if you've got questions about learning English, if you've got questions about me, I don't care. Ask me questions in the chat box. Just type your question and let me know, because now it is question time. Okay, so any questions you have, please type them into the chat box. I will answer your questions now one by one. All right. So let's have a look at who is here. I can see mobile gamers. Oh, you're typing in Russian, I think. I don't understand Russian. Let me use a translator to see what I can do. If you're still here, mobile gamers, and you can speak a little bit of English, try writing your question in English. I would love to know. So the translator doesn't seem like it's very accurate, but you did ask me, how can I learn? Well, on italki, you can take one-to-one lessons with a teacher and learn whatever you want. Okay, so if you want to practice general English, if you want to become a different level in English, if you want to learn professional English, business English, if you want to pass an exam, if you want to give a presentation in English, whatever you want. Just talk to your teacher, have a trial lesson, and then you can decide how you're going to do it. All right, let's see. DM Nair says, hi again, hello, thank you for coming back. I've been watching, oh, nice use of present perfect, by the way, you've got it. I've been watching a recording of your last stream to remember everything that you said. Fantastic, I'm really glad, fantastic. I hope it was helpful. So DM Nair says, how long have you been a teacher for? Good question. Very good use of the present perfect. Well done. I've been a teacher for 7 years now. So this is my 7th year of teaching. Before that, I was a tutor for 1 year. So I guess I've taught for about 8 years now. So for a very, very long time. I feel a bit old. But I started at university because, like I said, I study Japanese. My university degree was in Japanese. And I started teaching because I felt like learning a language made me more interested in teaching my own language. So English is my native language, and I became interested in what other people did to become fluent in English. So that's why I started teaching. But yeah, that's how I started 7 years ago. DM Nair says, how do you express your emotions with brackets in English? I'm using brackets in Russians, and sometimes I write E, but how to do it in English? Oh, okay. So do you mean, I see what you mean. Okay. We don't have anything equivalent of brackets to express emotions like that. So I'll give you some ways to express emotions in chat, okay? So when you're chatting, like if you're like, oh my God, that's amazing, then you can use something like OMG. OMG actually stands for oh my gosh or oh my God, depending on where you're from. And it's a way to show like surprise, or it's a way to show excitement. It's a way to show that I can't wait to tell you this. So you can say, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, or OMG, 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 okay? So when you're typing it in chat, you can use OMG. What else? Let's see, other ways to express emotion. Do you have any particular emotion you want to express? That would help. And then I can think of something for those particular emotions. If you find something really funny, you can also put lol, nice and easy, or you can say ha ha ha. So those are two common ones to express like you find something funny. Joy depends. If it's like surprising emotion, like you didn't expect it, then OMG actually works. OMG is quite universal. Anytime something is surprising and happy, OMG. If something is surprising and shocking, like sad, oh my God, I'm so busy today. Something like that is fine too. So joy, I guess OMG works. And can you? I feel like British people in general don't express a lot of joy. You can say something like woohoo or woot woot to be like you're celebrating, like woohoo, like yay. Oh, yay. Yay is another one. All of these work as well to show like you're really happy, you're really excited about something. Like for example, I get married in December. Like for real, this is not an example. I do get married. I am getting married in December. And a friend of mine this morning messaged me and said, OMG, I cannot wait for your wedding. It's only 15 days away. We are going to have so much fun. Woohoo! So like that is basically that. So OMG because she cannot believe it. And then she says, woohoo, because she's like excited about this. Okay. And oh, congratulations. Thank you so much. I'm very excited. I could say, OMG, I'm getting married. Sadness is interesting. I don't know. How do you express sadness? I guess you would just use emotions, like, emoticons, I mean, like when you use this or this, something like that would probably be the easiest way to describe sadness. I can't think of any like chatty things that you would do to describe sadness. We express sadness like that. Ah, there you go. Okay, so we generally use like emoticons like that. Sometimes with emoticons. Okay, so I guess it's similar. We just have emoticons for quite a lot of things. But we generally don't really shorten things like that. Sadness, let me think. How about, we've got one. So if you are sad or frustrated, if you're frustrated with something, we'll sometimes say, ugh. So, for example, ugh, I can't meet you today. I'm so sorry. My boss has just given me lots of work to do. So I'll have to stay at work late. Okay. So, ugh is a way of saying, like, oh God, I can't believe this. Again, I'm frustrated. I'm a little bit mad. I'm a little bit annoyed. I'm a bit disappointed. So you can say, ugh, that's ugh. Now, I've added 3 H's for emphasis, but you could just do UGH and that's it. Okay. But I guess, what else? Having said that, remember that some of these are very much like it differs from person to person. So some people might use this a lot, other people might not use it at all. So I think that chatting actually shows a little bit of your personality. So if you can find a way to chat with a few native speakers, you'll notice that they use different ways to express emotion. Maybe I don't express a lot of sadness, so maybe I don't know many. But I think it's very much personal as well. But yeah. Al Munir says, well, Al Munir just sends some fantastic emojis. I love that. One quick tip, actually, if you are talking to somebody who's a friend or a family member in the UK, often we will end our messages with X's. These X's just means kisses. Okay, so we often use that at the end of messages to show that we care and that we're saying, it's kind of like saying I love you, but in a nice, quick way, like kisses. Okay, so often when we finish a text message, we will put XXX at the end, or just one X is also okay. It doesn't really matter how many you put, but we often use that to describe, like, love and kisses. But remember, it is only with people like family and friends, close friends as well. I really wouldn't use it with a boss. That would be really strange. Very inappropriate for work. Oh, I can't think of any others. Oh, I can tell you one more actually before I stop. One that I really think is used a lot is "aw." Like if somebody says something like, "Ugh, I have to work lots today. I have so much work. I'm so busy." You can say, "Oh, that sounds really bad." So if you want to show like empathy or sympathy, if you want to show like, "Oh, I understand. It must be really hard for you," you can say, "Oh." So, "Oh," you can even type that as AWWW, or you can add as many W's as you want if you want to emphasize, or just, two or one if you want to just show that sound. Remember that these that I've given you, they don't have any specific spelling because they are not really words. So when you're typing, we'll add more W's, for example, to "or" if it's like more emphasized, and then if it's like a quick one, we'll just shorten it. Okay. You could say, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I wish you didn't have to do so much work." So, "Oh" is a really easy one to do. Hamid Jahaberi asks, "Hello, I've got a question. Is it correct to say, so we decided to create a new building?" Yeah, but create sounds very strange. You would build a new building. Create sounds a little bit awkward. You create other things. So collocations are important in English. Create is not often used with buildings. You can build them. You can erect buildings, but I think create sounds a little bit strange. But otherwise, yes, it is fine. The sentence itself, the grammar is correct. I hope that helps. We have run out of time, so like really run out of time. So I need to quickly show you my coupon because I don't want you to forget, okay? You can use this coupon to get 10 extra dollars to spend on any teacher you want, any language, any type of lesson, all right? It's just ANU, 3 letters, very easy to remember, all right? So do that now, don't forget. And I am off. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. Thank you, Al Munir, DM Nair, Mobile Gamers, and Hamid Jawari for being so lovely and asking questions. I really enjoyed my time here. I'm going to see you again tomorrow at the same times. All right. Bye.